Today I'm going to run through 7 must-have Jeep Gladiator mods, and they'll cost you under $300. Well, each anyway. First of all, let's start off with the window tint. You know, not only does it look cool, it also serves a purpose. It'll keep you a little cooler too, by the way. But it cuts down on glare. Ever been driving home from work at night? You're on the freeway or trying to get on the freeway. Look over your left shoulder and you've got the sun blinding you. It'll get rid of that. Also prevents fading of the materials inside the truck, keeps the truck cooler, as I mentioned, and also hides things a little bit. It's a little more difficult to see inside the truck for those prying eyes when you've got the window tint on. Next up is a cold air intake. You know, if you're looking for a little bit more sound, maybe something that isn't overbearing, and you don't want to go to a full exhaust and risk having something that's droney or too loud, cold air intake will do it, particularly the Air Raid or S&B. I've had both in my Gladiator, and I'm running the S&B right now. You guys can see it down there. I think it looks awesome under the hood. Needs to be wiped off a little bit. And I do need a new filter in there. But you can see the filter. I think it looks great. And it's going to give you sound, again, without having to go with a full exhaust, right? Now, people say, companies even claim, that it'll give you more horsepower, that it'll improve your fuel economy. I think that's all untrue. I've not experienced either with mine, but I gotta say, the extra sound that it gives me and the aesthetic improvement under the hood is well worth it. That'll cost you right about 300 bucks or so. And that is the most expensive one that we're gonna talk about. All the rest are much less. Now, next up, we've got to go around to the back, and that is the bed mat. You know, unless you get a Jeep that comes with the sprayed in liner, which is the #1 way to go, it'll cost you over $300. The bed mat is an awesome alternative. It looks good in there. You guys can see it. And you have a couple of alternatives. You can go with the one that's already pre-cut, all that good stuff. It won't cost you a whole lot of money, you know, the Mopar version. Or you can do what I did, go over to Tractor Supply, pick up a sheet of rubber, and cut it out yourself. Pretty simple to do, and it'll cost you probably 1/3 of what you'd pay for the OEM version. Keep stuff from rolling around in there. You know, the bed, of course, is just like this and very slippery. So you put anything in there, and it's gonna fly all over the place. This rubber stuff is like glue. Holds very well, and it'll keep your freight, your cargo, where you put it, and also protect the bed as well. I mean, this is just paint, right? It'll keep it from scratching, marring, nicking, chipping, all that good stuff. Definitely a must-have mod. While we're back here, let's talk about what I like to call the Gladi board. You guys can see it right there. I actually made this myself. It's simply a 2x4 painted with a little bit of felt on the ends to protect where it contacts the paint. And then I just put a decal on there. You don't have to do all that. You could just cut a piece of wood, stick it in the slots, and be done with it. Obviously, the purpose of this is to keep stuff that you want to be kept in the back of the bed, back here, or stuff that you want to be kept in the front, up in the front, like groceries or little things or whatever that you don't want to have roll around in the bed so that when you get home, you don't have to crawl all the way up there because you know stuff is going to end up there against the back of the bed. This way, it's easily accessible. You just reach in here, grab your stuff, and be on your way. An awesome mod. You might even have a 2x4 laying around the garage somewhere, and it'll cost you basically nothing. Next up are seat stuffers. Such a simple thing. These go over your existing seatbelt latch and kind of block up that space in between your seat and your center console. Now, I don't have any in the Jeep right now, but I've got an awesome set on order. They should be here any day. We'll have a video on those once they arrive. But what I'm talking about is they just go around your seatbelt latch here, and they fill this void right here. Now, why are those important? Well, if you're like me, have you ever dropped anything between your seats, especially when you're driving, and you just must have it, right? Like that French fry, or your cell phone, or a pen, who knows, could be anything, right? And invariably, it always falls far enough down there that you can't reach down while you're driving. You know, it goes underneath your seat. You got to stop, pull over, crawl underneath your seat, try to figure out where it went under here. I don't know how many times that's happened. Like I said, I have a set of those on order, but these are going to be awesome and going to alleviate that problem so that I don't lose stuff into that endless, bottomless void in between my seats. Number 6, door sill protection. You know, I don't know why every vehicle that's made doesn't come with this from the factory. And what I'm talking about, of course, are the sills on the Jeep. This area right here, you know, the area that you see every time you get in the Jeep, doesn't come with these. It's just bare paint. And of course, when you get in, you're going to put your foot up there, and invariably, you're going to scuff and scratch and maybe even chip this area, especially if you have little kids. You know, they're going to crawl up there. That's the first place they're going to put their foot, right? Especially when they get out. This stuff, and this happens to be the Mopar version, but there are a million different versions you can get out there. Tough Skins sells a really good product for this as well. But they just fit in this area here, keep this protected. The Tough Skins version actually wraps around and keeps this area here protected as well. Awesome addition to the Jeep, and it won't break the bank. Number 7, and probably the most functional of this whole list, and that is the RAM mount system. You know, I've been looking for a good way to mount my cell phone in the Gladiator for a long time. I came across this actually because I have something similar in the Toyota Tacoma up there, and I discovered they make one for the Jeep as well, and this is even better because this one uses 2 existing screws and just screws right in. No drilling, no double-sided taping, none of that crazy stuff. Just bolts right in here, and it's very secure. It isn't going to go anywhere. And then there are a myriad of different holders that you can put on here for different devices. I, of course, use the magnetic one. These are both magnetic. I have a metal plate on the back of my phone, so it just sticks on there, and it holds really, really well. These are strong magnets. No way is my phone going to go flying off. Wouldn't even have a problem taking this thing off-roading with that kind of a setup. Very useful. Again, you can put all kinds of things on here. Your cell phone, maybe your CB mic, your 2-way radio, an iPad. Anything that you can stick a metal plate on the back of, you know, so that it adheres, if you're going the magnet method, works really, really well, and I highly recommend this. Awesome mod, certainly worth the money, and again, it's one that I use every time I get in the Jeep. I mean, we all have our cell phones with us all the time now, right? So I get in, pop that thing on there, it's secure, and if things pop up or a call comes in or whatever, I can see it right there, and I don't have to take my eyes off the road because I'm looking straight ahead where my phone would be mounted. Anyway, that's just a list of what I think are 7 must-have mods for the Jeep Gladiator for under $300.